Where do you sell your coins? That simple question has changed more lives than most people will ever admit. And today, before this video ends, you might look at the coins in your drawer very differently. Most people think coins are just change. Something you toss into a jar, leave in your car cup holder, or hand to a cashier without a second thought. But every once in a while, a coin quietly carries a story so powerful, so rare, that it becomes something else entirely. Not just metal. Not just money. But history frozen in time. Today, I want to tell you the story of one such coin. A coin that came from South Africa in 1994. A simple-looking 50-cent coin. And yet, behind its ordinary appearance lies a moment that changed a nation forever. To understand why this coin matters, you have to understand the year it was born. 1994 was not just another year for South Africa. It was the year everything shifted. The year the country stepped out of the shadow of apartheid and into a new era. Decades of division, struggle, pain, and resilience came to a turning point. For the first time, democracy truly arrived. Voices that had been silenced were finally heard. And with that transformation came symbols, quiet ones, placed into everyday life. Coins were among those symbols. This 50-cent coin wasn't made to sit in a museum. It was made to pass from hand to hand. From worker to shopkeeper. From parent to child. It witnessed the birth of a new South Africa in the most ordinary way possible, through daily transactions. But here's what most people don't realize: coins struck during moments of national transformation often carry hidden rarity. Not because they were made in tiny numbers, but because very few survive untouched, unaltered, or properly preserved. Life is hard on coins. They get scratched, dropped, polished incorrectly, melted down, forgotten. And now imagine how many 50-cent coins from 1994 were lost to time. Imagine how many were spent on bread, on bus fares, on school supplies. How many were thrown into drawers and later swept away? How many were never thought about again? And yet, some survived, some were kept unknowingly. Some sat quietly in collections where no one realized their significance. And some traveled far beyond South Africa, carried by immigrants, travelers, and traders, crossing oceans and borders. Here's where the story gets interesting. Collectors don't just look at coins. They listen to them. They study the year, the metal, the strike, the condition, and most importantly, the context. And when collectors look at a coin from 1994 South Africa, they see a nation redefining itself. This 50-cent coin represents a bridge between eras. Old systems fading. New hope emerging. That kind of symbolism matters deeply in the world of numismatics. Especially to collectors who value history as much as rarity. Now let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever looked closely at the coins you already own? Not just glanced at them, but really looked. Because many people watching this video right now have coins that could be worth far more than they think, simply because they never knew what to look for. This particular coin, the 1994 50 cents from South Africa, carries several details that experienced collectors notice immediately. The year itself. The condition of the strike. The clarity of the design. The metal composition. Even small differences in spacing, edge detail, or surface texture can dramatically change its desirability. And here's the part most people don't expect: value isn't always obvious. Two coins can look nearly identical to the untrained eye, yet one might be worth pocket change while the other could change someone's financial situation overnight. That difference often comes down to preservation, rarity within the issue, and collector demand tied to historical significance. 1994 created demand not just because it was the first year of a new democratic era, but because it marked a psychological reset for an entire nation. Coins from this period are not just collected, they're respected. Now imagine someone inheriting a small box of coins. No labels. No certificates. Just metal and dust. Imagine one of those coins being a 1994 South African 50 cents, kept in surprisingly good condition. No one notices it. Years pass, then one day, someone asks a simple question: where do you sell your coins? That question opens a door, because the moment you consider selling, you start researching. And the moment you start researching, you realize not all coins are equal. Some carry stories buyers are willing to pay for. Some represent moments that can never be repeated. The 1994 50 cents coin represents a first. And in collecting, first matter, first years. First transitions. First issues after major political change. These are the coins collectors fight quietly over. Not loudly. Not publicly. But persistently. And here's another truth many people don't like to admit: the coin market isn't about what something used to be worth. It's about what people are willing to pay now. And demand for historically meaningful coins has only grown stronger as newer generations seek tangible connections to real events, not digital ones. A coin you can hold. A year you can feel. A story you can tell. That's what makes this 50 cents coin dangerous to underestimate, because once collectors realize how few high-quality examples remain, values don't rise gradually. They jump. Suddenly. Without warning. And that's why so many people regret ignoring coins they once had. Right now, somewhere, someone is unknowingly spending a coin that could have changed their understanding of money forever. And somewhere else, someone is quietly holding on to one, waiting for the right moment. In the next part of this video, I'm going to reveal what makes this coin cross the line from interesting to extraordinary. I'll explain what separates an ordinary 1994 50 cents coin from one that collectors truly compete for. And at the very end, I'll tell you the exact value that has stunned even seasoned collectors. But before we go there, ask yourself one thing. If you discovered a coin in your possession was worth far more than you ever imagined, would you even know where to sell your coins? Because knowing a coin's story is only half the power. The other half is knowing what makes it rise above the rest. When collectors examine a 1994 South African 50 cents coin, they are not just checking if it exists. They are asking deeper questions. Was it struck cleanly, or did the press leave weakness in the design? Has the surface been damaged by circulation, or does it still carry the quiet sheen of careful preservation? Are the edges sharp, or worn smooth by years of use? Condition changes everything. A coin that lived most of its life in pockets and cash registers tells one story. A coin that survived untouched tells another. And collectors pay for that difference. But this coin carries something else that can't be repaired, polished, or recreated. Timing point: 1994 was not a repeatable year. No matter how many coins are struck afterward, none can ever again be born at that exact turning point in history. That single year stands alone. And collectors understand that rarity doesn't always come from low numbers. Sometimes rarity comes from meaning. As years pass, fewer people remain who remember the emotional weight of that transition firsthand. And as memory fades, physical objects become more valuable, not less. Coins become witnesses. Proof that a moment truly happened. That's why interest in this 50 cents coin didn't explode overnight. It grew quietly. Slowly. Almost invisibly. Until suddenly, collectors realized that high-quality examples were harder to find than expected. Most were worn. Many were damaged. Some were altered by improper cleaning, a mistake that instantly destroys collector value. And once those coins are gone, they're gone forever. That's when prices begin to separate. Average coins remain average. But exceptional coins leave them behind. Another detail most people overlook is how international the collector market has become. This coin isn't just important to South Africans. It matters to historians, political collectors, and numismatists around the world who specialize in coins tied to major global change collectors in Europe, in North America, in Asia, all competing quietly for the same limited pool of preserved coins. And competition changes everything. When more buyers chase fewer coins, value doesn't ask permission to rise. It simply does. That's why people who once dismissed modern era coins now find themselves stunned. Because they were taught rarity only belonged to ancient or medieval pieces. But history doesn't work that way anymore. Modern history moves fast, and objects tied to it age faster than people expect. This 50-cent coin aged into importance, and here's where many people make their biggest mistake. They assume that because a coin looks simple, it must be simple. But simplicity often hides the most powerful stories. This coin doesn't shout. It whispers. And collectors are trained to listen. Imagine holding it in your hand. The weight. The feel. Knowing it passed through the first year of a free South Africa. Knowing it may have been used by someone voting for the first time. Someone starting a new chapter in their life without realizing they were also passing history forward. That emotional connection is real. And collectors pay for real emotion, which brings us back to the question from the beginning: where do you sell your coins? Because selling a coin like this isn't about getting rid of metal. It's about presenting a story properly. It's about understanding timing, audience, and condition. People who rush, lose. People who learn, win. Many individuals only discover the value of this coin after it's already gone. After they've traded it away for nothing. After they've dismissed it as common. That regret never leaves, but some people discover it in time. They take a second look. They research carefully. They protect the coin. And when the moment is right, they let the market speak. And when the market speaks, it can be loud. The 1994 South African 50-cent coin, in exceptional preserved condition, with the right characteristics collectors seek, has crossed a line few expected. Not because of hype. Not because of trends. But because history doesn't become less important with time. It becomes more expensive. Now we arrive at the moment you've been waiting for. After years of quiet growth, after collector demand intensified, after rarity became undeniable, this coin reached a valuation that shocked even experienced numismatists, the kind of number that makes people recheck their drawers. The kind of number that turns curiosity into urgency. The true market value reached by a top condition example of the 1994 South African 50-cent coin is $17,549.